A fellow called Michael Packard was a licensed commercial lobster diver, and he spoke to a reporter from his local paper as he lay in his hospital bed in Cape Cod. He explained how he'd just entered the water for his second dive of the day, and he was about 3 metres from the sandy sea floor when he felt a huge shove. And the next thing he knew, everything went completely blank and black. I could sense that I was moving, and I could feel the whale squeezing with the muscles in his mouth. Now, initially, Packard thought that he was inside a great white shark, but he couldn't feel any teeth, and he hadn't suffered any obvious wounds. It quickly dawned on him that he had been swallowed by a whale. I was completely inside, Packard said. I thought to myself, there's no way I'm getting out of here. I'm done. I'm dead. All I could think of was my boys. They're 12 and 15 years old. Complete with his scuba gear, he struggled, and the whale began shaking its head so that Packard could tell he didn't like it. Perhaps he wasn't tasty enough. He estimated that he was in the whale for only a short time, perhaps a half minute to a minute or so, before the whale finally surfaced and spat him out. Now, there are other recent accounts of similar things happening to other people as well, but it's happened before. Fishermen have long been known to embellish the truth. We hear all sorts of stories about the one that got away, or it was this big. But there is a story about another person who got away. Of course, we are considering the prophet Jonah, who was called by God to go to Nineveh to speak to its people, warning them of impending judgment unless they change their wicked ways. So instead of going to Nineveh, Jonah went in the opposite direction, towards Tarshish in Spain. A storm blew up and he was thrown overboard, where a large fish swallowed him. As someone who does not eat seafood, I cannot imagine, can't even begin to imagine what it would be like to be inside of a fish. Well, it certainly was a sticky situation. So what did Jonah do? Listen to these words that come straight from the book of Jonah in the Old Testament. Then Jonah prayed to his God from the belly of the fish. In deep trouble I prayed to God, Jonah said. He answered me. From the belly of the grave I cried, help! You heard my cry. When my life was slipping away, I remembered God, and my prayer got through to you. It made it all the way to your holy temple. Those who worship hollow gods or God frauds walk away from their only true love. But I'm worshipping you, God, calling out in thanksgiving. And I'll go and do what I promised I'd do. Salvation belongs to God. Then God spoke to the fish and it vomited Jonah up on the seashore. Now, do you ever find yourself in trouble? Deep trouble? At those moments when everything seems to be against you and you feel that you're in a position that you cannot escape from. Everything's black. Call out to God. He does hear and he does answer our prayers. He heard Jonah's one-word prayer, help. And he will hear your prayer as well. Jonah tried running away from God, but where can we go that God is not already there? He knew that God had a plan for his life that would have a wonderful impact upon other people. Perhaps that is your story as well. Romans 8:31 says that if God is for us, who can stand against us? Jesus came that we might have life and have it in abundance. John 10:10. Now that's worth thinking about. Have a wonderful week.